What's up, everybody? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and it's time for another country music update. This one is going to be split into two because I have quite a bit to show. It's been a while since I did a country music update, and I ran across a couple places where I got a big stack of stuff for really cheap. So I think it'll be easier to dump this into two than try to fit it all into one video. So first up in the background, I don't know if you can even hear it, but this is Crazy, the demo sessions from Willie Nelson. This came out a couple years ago, 2003. And these are some of the first studio recordings from Willie Nelson. A lot of these songs ended up being recorded by other people later on, or re-recorded by himself over the years. A few of these are unreleased songs. So let's see. And almost all of these, this particular the recordings themselves have never been released before. So a lot of these are early roughs, but really good stuff, including, I don't know if we'll get to it, but the original recording of Crazy that Patsy Cline heard and decided to record for herself. So now these aren't in any order, so I may show a Johnny Cash and then 4 records later show another Johnny Cash. So I just kind of grabbed them. First up, this is The Troublemaker from Willie Nelson. I've talked about Willie enough. He's a favorite of mine. Anytime I see an album of his that I don't have, I grab it. He doesn't really have a bad one. I can't see what that says. Final mix by Mickey Raphael and Ben Talent for the Willie Nelson Fan Club. So there's some kind of fan club sticker on here. But just a good album. Like I said, though, it's Willie Nelson, so they're all pretty good albums. This one's from '76. Next up, we got a little David Allan Coe. Somebody online did a lot with like 3 or 4 David Allan Coe albums, a couple of which I didn't have, and then I've bought 1 or 2 David Allan Coe albums since then. But this is DAC. What year was this? I think this was '80s. 82, David Allan Coe. This is when he was steeped in controversy. This same year, it was actually touring for this. This same year, he released an underground album. I think it's actually called the Underground Album. They go for crazy money, like $75, where he's got a song with the N-word in the title, and he uses it all throughout the song. And it's pretty much about his wife cheating with a black guy who's got a lot bigger dick than his, and it's a pretty fucked up song. You know, he argued for years and years that it wasn't a racist song. He just used the N-word, but whatever. That's not on this album, but it was this same time frame. So he was really steeped in controversy. But that's a good album. And his underground albums were all steeped in controversy because they were pretty misogynistic. They were pretty nasty about women. And it was all stuff, the underground albums, that he would never release to the general public. And from what I understand, the only way to get those albums was at his actual shows. So, anyway. Next up, this was a Record Store Day exclusive from last year. Every year they release at least one Johnny Cash album, and I usually try to get it. There's a couple that I've missed over the years, but this is The Blue Train, and I believe this one is on blue vinyl as well. Yeah, it's got that beautiful Sun label, and it's on blue vinyl. And it's got Folsom Prison Blues, Wreck of the Old '97. Rock Island Line is a good one. Hey Porter. So some classics on there, but it's a great album. And this was originally released in 1962. Next up, George Strait's Greatest Hits. This listen to Gold Standard promo. Just working on filling out my George Strait collection. He's one of my all-time favorite country music artists. And he's definitely my favorite from the 80s and 90s. But this one's just filled with his hits. Amarillo by Morning, a Fire I Can't Put Out, Down and Out, Unwound was a huge one. Full-Hearted Memory. Next up, we've got Loretta Lynn, I Want to Be Free. Really like classic Loretta Lynn. This was 71. Oh, let's see. I Want to Be Free was a big hit for her, and the one that she wrote herself. Help It Make It Through the Night, which was a Chris Christopherson song. What else was on here? Me and Bobby McGee, again, another Chris Christopherson song. I think from 71 to 75 or 76 or so, if you were a country artist, you had to record Me and Bobby McGee. Chris Christopherson wrote it and did it himself. Johnny Cash did it. Willie Nelson did it. Obviously, Janis Joplin did it. Just a huge song. It just seemed like it was a standard that everybody had to record for themselves. Let's see. Merle Haggard and the Strangers. This is a classic album. A Working Man Can't Get Nowhere Today. Unfortunately, we just lost Merle Haggard, but this was 75, I think, 76 when this one came out. This was a comp, too. And there was something special about this comp, and I can't remember what it was. But there's some great songs on here. A Working Man Can't Get Nowhere Today is awesome. Running Kind. Got a Letter from My Kid Today. Just some really good stuff here. A little bit of Marty Robbins. This is El Paso. This is probably one of his biggest hits, if I remember correctly. Especially the song El Paso. The Wine Flowed Freely. Streets of Laredo was a big song as well. The Hanging Tree. The A side of this is all amazing. Marty Robbins, I'm hit or miss with. He's got some albums that I really love, like this one. He's got some that I could live without. But this one is definitely a country music classic and one that you should check out. Let's see, next up we got Hank Williams Jr. Greatest Hits. This is an earlier Greatest Hits collection. I don't see the date on this one. I want to say this was early 70s though, but I definitely prefer his earlier hits to his later. So I like his stuff from the 70s and 80s too. But from 75 and earlier is really the stuff from him I like. But it's All Over But the Crying. Cajun Baby was huge. Where Do I Go From Here? I'd Rather Be Gone. Great album. Next up, this is usually makes the top 20 or so greatest country music albums of all time. And it's an amazing album. The title song is just a classic song. I usually never find this in good condition. It's always trash. Even this one has some pretty heavy ring wear. But this is Divorce from the Queen of Country Music, Tammy Wynette. And this one was apparently a radio promo. It's got a little stamp on there. But every song on here is beautiful. And she does a really good cover of Yesterday on here too. That was a really big radio hit, but you can't really go wrong with Tammy Wynette, but this is definitely her at her best right here. Next up, this was a Amazon exclusive, and I think you can get it for under $10 now. I got it on sale for like 15, and from what I've heard, it's dropped down even further. But this is live at the Nassau Coliseum. This is the Highwaymen. If you're not familiar with the Highwaymen, it was Waylon Jennings, Chris Christopherson, Johnny Cash. Who am I forgetting? Waylon, Chris, Waylon, Willie. No, that's all four of them. And they toured a little bit together. And what's cool about this is the Highwaymen had a couple of awesome. So actually, one of my all-time favorite country songs is the song "The Highwaymen," which was definitely their biggest hits. But their albums were okay. The Highwaymen albums, I like them, but that was definitely their biggest hit. What I like about this is they do the Highwaymen hits, but then they also There's a couple songs from each of them as well. So you get Ring of Fire, Mama Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, Folsom City Blues, or Folsom Prison Blues. Let's see, Silver Stallion, Me and Bobby McGee, Lukenbach, Texas. So this thing is full of hits from the 4 artists, and is a killer album. And I definitely recommend jumping onto Amazon and grabbing a copy while you still can. That's on clear vinyl. But yeah, I thought I was getting a good deal for $15 on Amazon Prime Day, and then I heard somebody posted that you can get them for like $7 or $8 right now. Next up, this is the debut from Hank Williams Jr. It's probably VG. I usually don't buy albums rough like this one, but I have never seen this in good condition, and good condition copies can cost a few bucks, and I found this at Goodwill for 60 cents, and I may have got it half off if I remember correctly. But this is the MGM soundtrack to Hank Williams' life story, and it's all sung by Hank Williams Jr. Really good album. I do want to eventually find a nicer copy, but this is an original first pressing. You see the old MGM inner sleeve with a lion on it. And the big hit off of here is Hank Williams Jr. singing Your Cheating Heart, which was, as you can see right there. But it's got Your Cheating Heart, Hey Good Looking, Jambalaya, I Saw the Light, Ramblin' Man, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. Oh man, what else is on here? Cold Cold Heart, Hey Good Looking, I already said that. You Win Again. Every single song on here is an absolute classic, whether sung by Hank Williams or Hank Williams Jr. But like I said, this was his debut from 1960. I can't remember what the year is. I had hoped I wouldn't cry. And of course it doesn't say. It's from the 60s though. We'll do one more and then we'll call it into this video, and we'll jump into part 2. And we'll go ahead and go with Hank Williams Jr. And this is Are You Sure After You. This is where you want to be. This is a great example right here, and I think this was 73. Yeah, 73, of why Hank Williams has a beard. He was just not a good-looking man without the beard, and he grew the beard a couple years after this one. But this and 71 to 74 are my favorite Hank Williams albums, and this is right up there. This album, beginning to end, is a really great album. I think this one's a white label promo, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this one's a white label promo. Another one that I found for really cheap and in beautiful condition. And it's got the DJ promo sticker on the back there. But I know a lot of people that aren't fans of Hank Williams Jr. He's definitely an outspoken guy. And there, like I said, there's a lot of the stuff from the 80s of his that I didn't like. But this era is just really traditional country music, and he was so good back then. I wish he would have really stuck with that sound. But that's it, VC. I'll have another video coming soon. I may do another video in between this and part 2, but you'll see part 2 relatively soon.